Are able to look back on their adolescent years and think to themselves that life wasn't all that bad. Sure, we may have wished for our parents to buy us a pony or to go to Disney World more often, but as a whole, we can reflect on the years that we spent in our childhood home or homes, revisit the days that we spent with our families, and crack a smile on our faces at the good times and the bad. What many of us don't realize is that our average everyday lives of growing up seem like something of a rare commodity to the children that we have in our culture today. Looking at the juvenile justice system alone, it is estimated that over 2.1 million youth are arrested each year for charges from simple assault to theft to cyberbullying. Looking into the scarier side of things, there are an estimated 15,000 cases of child abuse and neglect, as well as CHINS, which is a Child in Need of Services petition, reported annually in New Hampshire alone. Of these 15,000 cases, 8,000 cases are assessed annually. With that being said, there is an end game to each and every case that enters the juvenile justice system and the Division of Children, Youth, and Families. With the rates of youth in care being as high as they are today, we must put special emphasis on our early intervention techniques to reach the youth and teach healthy coping mechanisms before it is too late. Residential treatment facilities have become somewhat of a rare commodity in New Hampshire. Many facilities have been shut down in recent years due to a lack of funding. This ranges from shelter care to programs specializing in substance abuse intervention, and even programs who offer services to pregnant adolescents or young mothers. Therefore, the remaining facilities have become overwhelmed by the amount of youth that are requiring intervention today. To clear the air on an especially controversial perspective on youth in care, just because a youth is in care does not mean that the youth is a bad kid. Many youths who find themselves in the confines of residential do not wake up one day and hope to go to placement. No. These children are often the products of an unhealthy and unsafe upbringing who either act out to commit crimes as a manner of having their needs met. This may mean stealing food or stealing a warm coat. I once had a child who came to me and told me that they had broken into the Salvation Army bins outside of a grocery store so that they could steal warm clothing for themselves and for their younger siblings because their father, an illegal immigrant, was not able to work and provide for their families. This meant that she was assigned a caseworker as well as a juvenile parole probation officer, and she was placed with us for about 9 months because of the crime she had to commit to protect her family. In other cases, reports have been filed to the state and the youth have been removed from their home due to unsafe circumstances. This child who I just referenced, a big part of this too was not just the crimes that she committed, but also that because her father couldn't work and provide for their family, it was a very unsafe and neglectful situation. The home was infested with cockroaches. She was not able to sleep in a bed at night. They shared a 1-bedroom apartment there were 5 of them altogether. It was a very unsafe situation, so she was removed from the home due to that and the crimes that she committed. Whatever the case may be, when a youth enters care, they often present in a way that is difficult to manage and hard to break through. They are survivors of their circumstances. Normalcy in care is a concept that has become a more popular topic in recent years. Many of us have heard about institutions and the way that we have dealt with mental illness in our society in past years. While we seem to have made a considerable effort to recognize those shortcomings and make adaptations to deinstitutionalize our treatment facilities, a lot of punitive practices still remain in care today. In New Hampshire, we have become a much more progressive state in our vision of how we should treat youth in care and the manner of which that we treat them while they're in residential. New Hampshire has taken steps to establish normalcy in the lives of the youth who are in care. So what does this mean? New Hampshire has actually established something called the Youth in Care Bill of Rights. This is to establish a baseline of rights that the youth in care are entitled to have. This means having the right to the appropriate use of technology, special emphasis on appropriate, such as cell phones, social media, and basic internet surfing. They have the right to build relationships with peers and make connections with people. They don't have to just be isolated to their residential setting. They can reach out, they can make new friends, they can maintain the connections that they already have outside of care. They have a right to participate in their own treatment and to have a say in their permanency plans and much, much more. The youth are the ones who drive their treatment. They are the ones who should be coming up with their treatment goals and bringing it back to their treatment each and every day that they are in care. This entire concept was developed by the Youth for the Youth with the guidance of adult alliances at the Youth Advisory Board, or YAB, that all programs and youth in general have the opportunity to attend on a monthly basis. So not just youth who are in residential programs, but also youth who might be in foster care in the state of New Hampshire. Many people view this document or policy as a way of rewarding bad kids. Why are we giving the bad kids cell phones? Why are we giving them access to this? They did something to end up where they're at today. Is it true that poor behavior needs to be held accountable? Yes, absolutely. But addressing poor choices does not mean that you punish relentlessly and drill the bad kid mentality into somebody who has made a poor choice. We are here to empower the lives for the future of our country. Implementing the personal use of social media and cell phones for youth who have earned the privilege of doing so allows the youth to develop their skills when in a controlled setting under the guidance and support of professionals. They are truly at the advantage here. We don't want to put them in an ivory tower because when they exit care, suddenly they're off this leash and they have no skills. Being able to utilize these skills when they're with us gives them the advantage. By treating them with the fairness and meeting them where they are, it helps them. It is never going to reward poor choices to give them privileges that they have earned. Aside from reviewing the Youth in Care Bill of Rights, it is important to also examine the daily lives of the youth who are in care at a residential facility. At NFI North Davenport School, the mission of normalcy is modeled in everyday happenings of the program. Residents are given the opportunity to drive the bus for their own treatments. They are empowered young ladies who are given the ability to earn privileges as they transition to the next step of their permanency plan. Sometimes that means going home to their families, other times that might mean foster care, and sometimes it might mean going straight to college. By consistently instilling a sense of normalcy and equality amongst the staff members and residents, it is possible to gain a walk together, walk alongside approach as the challenging aspects of their treatment are accomplished. By the time they are ready to move to the next step past treatment, they have gained the valuable skills of utilizing real-world normalcy while in the residential setting. To reach these children, we must make it a priority to meet them where they are versus where we want them to be. By treating each child as an individual, we will inspire trust, respect, and growth. Many youth who find themselves in the system do not have hope for themselves, their families, or their situations. Whew. Our job as innovators is to find every ray of light we can and to point it out. We must work alongside them and treat them as equals, encourage a parallel process, and inspire their intrinsic motivators to better themselves and to succeed independently. It is of the utmost importance for our society to view the adolescent treatment system as an area that deserves special focus and attention as we intervene at a young age for the future of our country. Mental illness in general has become a lost topic in our society, one that always comes up at the last possible moment. For the children and youth in our society, we owe it to them to make our priority them and to allow them the tools they need to be successful in their futures, not just something that we take away or deprive them of moments in struggle. And I guess that's the point of this whole thing, is opening eyes to see what residential is and to see a snapshot of what the kids go through so that we can understand and that we can make it a priority for us to do more for the youth, to reach out to the youth, because they are truly our future.